Karsch and Anderson, 97 The Ticket. We mentioned we're at the Pistons Performance Center. Opening night is tomorrow night, and joining us now, John Blair Bickerstaff, better known as JB. Welcome to Detroit, head coach.
Appreciate it. Full name. Make me feel like my mom's in town.
You in trouble?
I'm probably in trouble.
No. Not even close. So welcome. What is your sense for the organization so far?
It's been great so far. Working with the guys and spending as much time as we've been able to do with them, getting to know them as people. I feel like we have a really good group of guys, high character guys that want to do the right thing, want to help one another, want to try to build this thing the right way. Then obviously my interactions with the front office have been phenomenal. Trajan and I spent a ton of time together just trying to get to know each other better, philosophy, those types of things, how we want to move forward. And then having the support of Tom has been phenomenal also. He really wants to be an asset. He's available, which isn't common with all owners. So it's been really, really good so far.
Being the coach of Cleveland before coming here, I imagine that has its advantages knowing what you're getting yourself into coming to this organization and seeing the players up close and personal. You haven't had a whole lot of time to work with these guys, but has anything stood out and surprised you? Like, I thought I knew this guy, but it's even more or less than you were expecting.
Yeah, I think it's all the guys, to be honest with you, because when you watch teams from afar, you're not always sure what a coach behind the scenes is asking those guys to do, right? You're not as involved in their system, and you don't get to see them every day. And, being lucky enough to work with these guys and see it every single day, just the way that they all approach the game and how they prepare. We got some guys who really work their tails off, not just on the floor, but in the weight room. They want to be really, really good. And you don't get to see that if you're not around them watching their preparation every single day. Some of the guys, like J.I. speed, like you get to see it, on a game here or there. But like when you get to see it every single day and watch how impactful he can be, how Cade sees the game and how he can organize and structure people and put them in the right places. Like those are all things that we've been really, really impressed with.
There's probably not anything that you can tangibly take from the present in Detroit, but we just saw a Tiger team come out of nowhere and shock everybody. And we got a Lions team that I don't know how much you followed the Detroit Lions. The culture was bad for so many years, and now it's good. Do you try to feed into that a little bit and say, all right, guys, look what the Tigers just did, and we're going to set a culture like the Lions have completely changed things around? Are these things even remotely relevant to you?
I mean, they are.
Okay.
But, it's kind of a similar thought coming into it anyway, right? Like our responsibility to these guys is to put them in an environment where they can thrive. That's what you do when you have young players. So our focus is like every single day, how do we make this building a place where guys feel being comfortable, right, being the best versions of themselves? Because when you're comfortable, you're confident, you can go out and you can do special things. Like if you're, if the environment's negative or there's, it's not a positive experience for you, it impacts the way you play. So our focus is trying to make this building as positive as we can and then allow these guys to play with the ultimate confidence.
I was told that you and Trajan actually went over and visited with the Lions.
We went over and watched one of their practices, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. So you could see it. I mean, you could feel the spirit when they were out there competing, but even small things like we watch when, how are guys interacting when they're warming up, right? And you could see that there was a lot of positive energy, a lot of great vibes. They were laughing, joking, talking to one another, but you could feel like there's a collectedness there where the only thing that matters to them is their group and then trying to do something special. So it was great for us to be able to see that firsthand.
When you were game planning against the Pistons in the past, from the outside looking in, you knew what their strengths and weaknesses were from the team. So now that you're with this team, what did you want to improve on from day one? What's the number one goal?
For us, it's always about defense. That's one of the things that, if you get the guys to buy in, you can have an impact there. You'll see how quickly it goes, but that's the first thing we wanted to focus on is the foundation in our mind of winning teams who sustain success. They're teams who can defend the basketball and get stops on command. The offensive piece, the guys are so talented, and we'll put that system in, obviously, and continue to grow that. But our focus was, how can we make this team a better defensive team to impact winning games?
How difficult is that to do, to try to change the mindset of a team that may not have been playing great defense to all of a sudden flip a switch and do it? Is it totally effort-based, or is there a lot more to it?
There's more to it, but the buy-in and the want to is first and foremost, right? Like, you have to want to stop the guy who's in front of you. You have to want to take the challenge of guarding the world's best players and trying to stop them. So I think that's the first part of it. And like I said, getting to know these guys, they have the want to. And then we start to build the scheme, some of the stuff we've done in the past, but then have to tweak it a little bit based on personnel. Obviously we're a little bit different here with our, the size of our team and those types of things. So those are things that we can use to our advantage, look to do more switching and things like that. To erase triggers and always keep it more 2-on-2 instead of having to put an extra body in it and get to disadvantage situations and those types of things. So, again, it's one of those things where, it starts with the foundation of want to, and then you build on the system from there.
Where's Cade Cunningham right now in terms of his development? Ready to take a big step?
I believe so. Again, he's a really good player who I feel like had a really good year last year. At the end of the day, the way our league is, like, you earn the respect of your peers and all those things and the glory by impacting winning. So it's our responsibility as an organization to help grow him, but also make sure we're putting the people around a guy like that are going to make him be successful. That's why I think the additions of Tobias, Tim Hardaway, and Malik Beasley were so big, right? Those guys, veteran players who know who they are, they help our young players become the best players that they can possibly be as well.
Do you like where the league is now, the way that the game is played? It's become such a shooter's league. Do you like that, or are you more old school and want to roll your sleeves up and get it?
Yeah, I am. It's like you're trying to find that balance of where we all kind of came from to where we are now. And you have to continue to, adjust to the league. One of the things that we try not to do is become a part of the copycat pattern. We try not to just do things that everybody else in the league is doing just because that's what everybody else in the league is doing. So I do think the talent level is at an extremely high place. Maybe top to bottom, the talent level may be as good as it's ever been and spread throughout the league. I think that's why you've seen so many different champions over the past few years is because the talent level is so spread out. I think there's a difference. Like, we're teaching guys how to play basketball. In the past, all guys did was play basketball in the summer. They would just play 5-on-5 or 3-on-3. And I think we've lost a little bit of that, where now it's a lot of individual workouts and stuff. So individual skill level is high, but now we're teaching guys how to play the game of basketball the right way.
2 draft picks, Ron Holland, Bobby Klintman. Any update on where they might fit in, if this year at all?
Yeah, I think Ron has earned the opportunity to be a part of a rotation. He's a guy who just competes at a high level. He's not one of those young guys who feels like he's got to come in and score to impact the game. I think you saw our first game here at home, how impactful he was when he came in off the bench and kind of changed the energy versus Milwaukee. And it wasn't, go take this shot, go get that shot. It was get an offensive rebound, get a steal, get out in transition. So for a young guy, he figured out early how to impact the team. And that was his priority. It wasn't about, okay, I got to get mine, I got to do my thing. It was, no, let me go out here, compete to try to win. Bobby's situation's been a little different because he's banged up with the calf injury. So we just got to go through that process of getting him healthy and then go from there.
You mentioned Jaden Ivey's speed. It's just off the charts when he's seated up close. Was he the player, or is there a player that you were really excited to get your hands on when you came to Detroit?
It's hard to just say the one guy, right? I think I'd be doing all the guys a disservice. I think all of our guys have upside.
We're all big guys. We understand. Our feelings aren't going to be there. I'm speaking on behalf of the basketball
right.
guys. Like, I know.
No, but it's one of those things where you look at it, and then part of the reason why I'm here is because the cupboard wasn't bare. You look at JD, with his upside and the potential that he has as a big and a playmaker and a defensive rebounder and those types of things, like Cade, obviously, J.I. we talked about. But all those guys we want to invest in. Asar, like when I watch him play or just in practice and watching him in one-on-one stuff, I don't know if I've seen a guy as athletically gifted as he is and as fluid and smooth as he is. It's like when he takes off, he's got about 8 or 9 seconds to make different decisions while he's still in the air, and then he goes and finishes it or dunks it or whatever it is. So, all these young guys, I'm excited to be a part of their future and be a part of their progress.
Jamie Bickerstaff, before we let you go, take us back, way back. You're a young player, and Chauncey Billups is on your AAU team in rival high schools. obviously a Detroit legend. What can you tell us about those battles or when you teamed up back in the day?
Yeah, they weren't battles, I'll tell you that much. he definitely had the advantage. But no, it was so we grew up together in the Denver area. And I'll never forget my first experience. We're playing in a tournament at the University of Denver, and we just finished our game. I think we were on the third or fourth court, and all you heard in the building is Smooth's on court one, Smooth's on court one. And I was like, who the hell is Smooth? You know what I mean? And he was in the 8th grade at the time. So everybody rushes, crowds the floor to see him. And he's probably, 6'3" at that time and built like a grown man and was just out there dominating the game. And then that next summer, we ended up playing on the same AAU team. One of our coaches would always make us play up a year, and he would get guys that were a year older to play with us. So Chauncey was on, on those teams, and every single game, parents were asking to see his birth certificate because he was just so big and so dominant. And so he and I, have continued to have a great relationship. But my favorite thing about Chauncey is, like, he was always the same guy. He didn't have to be, kind to us. He didn't have to take time to be with us and, hang out with us, being an older guy. But he never let how good he was impact him as a person. And he's still the same way. Like, he's like a big brother to me now. It's like he'll call, check on me, reach out, see how I'm doing. Those types of things. So he's one of the guys that I couldn't be more happy to see all the success and things that he's had come his way, the championships, the winning, the Hall of Fame. Like, he deserves all that stuff.
What was he like with hair?
I'm trying to remember. I don't think he ever had hair.
No?
No, I'm thinking about it now, and I don't remember if he ever – I think he may have always been bald, or he may have had a little slope or something at one point in time like we all did. But he was still kicking tail. I know that.
Coach, appreciate your time. Good luck. We'll be watching and rooting.
No problem. Thank you guys for having me.
Thanks, Coach.
JB Bickerstaff from the Pistons. More to come. Karsch and Anderson, 97.1 The Ticket.